SmackDown kicked off this week with Nick Aldis informing Cody Rhodes that he was no longer in the main event. Instead, the final boss wanted to see him in the ring. The Rock made his long-awaited appearance at the end of the second hour, entering to a unique mashup of his classic theme music. The Rock then made a huge announcement that WrestleMania 42 will take place in New Orleans next year. However, the night's biggest moment came when he confronted Cody Rhodes in the ring. In what was one of the most perplexing promos in recent memory, The Rock finally revealed what he wanted from Cody, and it wasn't the WWE Championship. He acknowledged Cody as a great champion, but said he wanted him to be his champion. To emphasize the weight of his words, he reminded Cody of his power as a director on the TKO board. The promo took an unexpected turn when The Rock went on a tangent about Moana 2 reaching the billion-dollar mark at the box office, but buried within his speech was a major revelation. He admitted to lobbying Triple H for a dream match against Roman Reigns, only for Cody to interfere and tell him to step aside. Things got even more confusing, but The Rock made one thing clear: he wanted that, pointing at Cody. While many assumed he was referring to the WWE title, he clarified that it wasn't the championship he was after. He wanted Cody's soul. Despite the tension, The Rock showed a level of respect for Cody, acknowledging that he had the guts to slap him and take what was his. He even acknowledged that he could help Cody become a bigger star than he already is, and that he wanted that for him. The segment ended with The Rock giving Cody time to think it over, expecting an answer at Elimination Chamber on March 1st. But what exactly did the final boss mean when he said he wanted Cody's soul? Cody has been a champion for the people, something The Rock is well aware of. However, he doesn't want Cody to remain that way. Instead, he wants him to embrace the corporate side, accept favors, and transform into a corporate heel champion, a corporate Cody, if you will. Longtime WWE fans will recognize the similarities to The Rock's own corporate persona during the Attitude Era when he aligned with Vince McMahon. According to Fightful Select, The Rock's surprise appearance and the WrestleMania 42 announcement were only finalized a few days before the February 21st episode. Sources within WWE revealed that creative was caught off guard, and talent was shocked when they learned The Rock would be appearing. His presence led to major adjustments, including the cancellation of Naomi vs. Liv Morgan and Cody being pulled from the original SmackDown main event. Now, thanks to The Rock, WrestleMania 41's plans have been completely shaken up. WWE had been moving forward under the assumption that The Rock wasn't available, with plans in place for Cody Rhodes vs. John Cena and various combinations of Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins in the top matches. One top talent even joked that WrestleMania was now at the mercy of Dwayne, and they weren't wrong because just weeks before the event, everything is up in the air. Behind the scenes, Christian Scovell was listed as the writer for The Rock's segment, as he usually handles Cody Rhodes' storylines. Meanwhile, Michael Hayes oversaw production, but for those wondering if The Rock followed a script, the answer is no. He does what he wants, which included dropping an unscripted F-bomb in the middle of the segment. With one unexpected appearance, The Rock has turned the WrestleMania landscape upside down, leaving WWE scrambling to adjust. What was once a clear path for Cody Rhodes has now become a power struggle with the final boss standing in his way. With Elimination Chamber approaching, the big question remains, will Cody give in to The Rock's demands, or will he fight back? Regardless of whether Cody turns heel, one thing is certain: he won't be facing The Rock at WrestleMania 41. The Rock made this clear during a post-SmackDown press conference. Speaking entirely out of character, he stated that his interactions with Cody aren't necessarily leading to a match. He explained that he enjoys the magic, tension, and awkwardness of their segments, but stressed that it doesn't mean they'll face off in the ring. If anything, this confirms that The Rock won't be competing at WrestleMania this year. That's a letdown for fans who had begun to see Cody vs. the Great One as a more exciting match than The Rock vs. Roman Reigns. Fans were also surprised by the change in The Rock's entrance music, which blended Lil Wayne's The Block Is Hot with his iconic Everything theme. The Great One later explained his reasoning during the SmackDown post-show media scrum. He said it was all about respect. I wanted to give love to Wayne, I love Kendrick, and I love the Super Bowl, I loved his performance, so it was my way of showing love to the OG. With Lil Wayne being a New Orleans legend, the theme change was a perfect fit for The Rock's massive WrestleMania 42 announcement. Now all eyes are on Cody Rhodes as he prepares to respond to The Rock at Elimination Chamber. Will he align with the final boss, or will he reject the offer and stand his ground? The road to WrestleMania has never been more uncertain. SmackDown's main event was set to be a six-man tag, but The Rock changed it to a standard tag bout featuring Damian Priest and Braun Strowman against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Priest and Solo kicked things off for their teams by trading strikes in the corner, and when Sikoa grew a little too confident, Priest quickly made him pay for it. Strowman made sure to taunt Fatu at every opportunity he could before the pair clashed in the ring, and it would be a miscommunication between the heels that would cost them dearly. Fatu accidentally caught Solo with a super kick, and Strowman capitalized by sending both Fatu and Tama Tonga crashing to the announce table. Priest hit South of Heaven on Sikoa to win this hard-hitting match, which proved to be one of the best matches of the night. Strowman and Priest showed strong chemistry as a tag team, though Strowman appeared to be limping by the end in what hopefully is not a serious issue. The real story here, though, was the miscommunication in the bloodline and how Fatu and Sikoa may no longer be on the same page, a development that has come at an interesting time. With reports of a potential WrestleMania showdown, this could be setting up for Fatu breaking away from Solo's bloodline, or even Sikoa being ousted from the group by Jacob. Whatever is planned, it appears Fatu and Solo will be at odds in the near future, with a showdown in Las Vegas' Allegiant Stadium a real possibility. Tiffany Stratton came out to address Charlotte Flair's challenge for WrestleMania, but was quickly interrupted by Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. The three exchanged some trash talk before the match between Stratton and LeRae began during the commercial break, though Charlotte Flair would quickly arrive. Flair appeared 30 seconds after returning from the break and joined the commentary table to get a better look at the woman she will challenge at WrestleMania 41. During the match, Stratton experienced a wardrobe malfunction, and though most viewers saw a black screen as the broadcast caught the slip, some regions saw the incident. Images of Stratton's unfortunate incident have surfaced on social media, though we will not be sharing the uncensored images here. The match extended through a second commercial break, allowing it plenty of time to feel competitive, though there were some unfortunate botches in the match. Stratton's attempt to hit an off-the-rope armbar on LeRae saw her slip off the bottom rope, and the move looked far from the impressive feat it should have been. At one point, Stratton launched a top-rope moonsault onto Jax and LeRae, but she barely made contact with the pair, who were out of position. Despite these botches and the pacing slowing in places, the overall contest had more positives than negatives, and the match would see Stratton get the win. Tiffany was attacked by Nia Jax after the match and was about to hit her finisher when Trish Stratus ran down to make the save. Sadly, Trish ended up getting taken out too, so Jax could hit both Trish and Tiffy with the Annihilator at the same time, sending a painful message to two of WWE's most popular women. As Nia Jax hit the Annihilator on both Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, though, many fans watching at home felt the move left a lot to be desired. Fans on social media mocked Jax's hitting of the move, but there is a reason it looked bad, as Nia got up quickly after hitting the move because she'd landed squarely on Trish's face. The moment Jax made contact, she pulled herself back up and pivoted so she would sit down on the chest of Stratus, mitigating the risk of a real injury. That's the sign of Jax being a safe in-ring worker, and while the move didn't look quite as good with Jax hitting it on two women, that's far better than Trish suffering a serious facial injury. Alexa Bliss had a video promo during SmackDown of her building up the Women's Elimination Chamber match she'll be a part of next weekend. Like Bliss's character, this was equal parts spooky and fun, and it was interesting that the lights Bliss was in front of in this segment could resemble fireflies. There was also an old-time film camera vignette at times with strange markings, and at one point the word bird could prominently be seen. The Nightbird has been featured in the logo of the Wyatt Six since its arrival, and if fans remember the old-timey music played before the group's arrival, that track is also called Nightbird. The number 6 was also featured for a brief moment, which could be a nod to the Wyatt Six, and Bliss possibly being the faction's sixth and final member. Bliss ended her segment by declaring, "I'm in charge," and after last week's promo had the line, "Do you feel in charge?" it's clear that Bliss is building to something big. Bliss spoke about how things had changed during her time out of action and promised that the Elimination Chamber will become her playground and hell for her opponents. Bliss's demeanor was one of immense confidence, as she seemed to know something fans don't know yet, and there was also an interesting message displayed during this segment. An arrow pointing up and the words "Splice Here" were shown, bisected by the arrow, possibly a sign of there being two halves to Bliss and this evolved character. Now, frustrations within WWE's women's division have continued to grow, with new details emerging about the concerns of the women behind the scenes. Fightful Select recently reported that multiple women on the roster have voiced their dissatisfaction with the lack of focus on developing new contenders. The struggling tag team division is also said to be an issue, as is the overall screen time or lack thereof for women outside of the very top stars. Several WWE talents have compared the situation to NXT, where they believe the women's division receives a stronger focus and more emotional investment from fans. The belief is that the NXT roster is given more opportunities to tell meaningful stories than those on the main roster, with stars like Julia, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and others shining. Redundancy is another major concern, as some talent aren't just featured in the main event scene, but also in the mid-card title picture. One source described it as a "give other people more time in addition to them" situation, rather than simply complaining about certain names getting too much screen time. One of the biggest issues was how WWE handled Sonya Deville's exit, as according to sources, Deville was told WWE wanted to keep her on the roster. 4 days after being told this, Deville was told she was cut despite being in the middle of negotiating a new deal, and this move has left some talent worrying about their own futures. That's especially the case for talent who aren't being used regularly, and there's also been an issue where talent ask about creative plans only to be told that their time will come. For many, they are left waiting for an opportunity that never materializes, and with WrestleMania 41 approaching, some talent have expressed their growing impatience with a lack of a direction. Following this report, fans took to Twitter on Friday to express their anger at how the women are being handled, with the hashtag WWE Women Deserve Better movement gaining serious traction online. WWE's women's division has come a long way from the days where women were little more than eye candy, but behind the scenes, many feel there's still a lot of work to be done. Do you think WWE is giving enough attention to its women's division? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have reignited their rivalry, and just an hour before SmackDown, Owens took this already personal feud to a disturbing new turn. In the latest of his videos, Owens shared that Zayn got what he wanted and questioned if Sami wants to hurt KO so badly that he ends his career, an act that would hurt Owens' family. Speaking of families, Owens then claimed that Zayn's own family is going to watch Sami's career end in Toronto and revealed that he was filming from outside Sami's home. Owens recorded Zayn, his wife, and their son, with Sami having no idea he was being watched, and Owens said that Sami is making him ruin Zayn's family, something they'll never forgive Sami for. Owens ended by telling Zayn, "You asked for this, it's all your fault," as the pair are ready to tear each other apart in their unsanctioned match next weekend in Toronto. Drew McIntyre entered this week's SmackDown far from 100%, and now we know just how serious his condition was before his latest match. On his Instagram stories, McIntyre revealed that he had to get fluid drained from his knee just 45 minutes before stepping into the ring against Jimmy Uso in New Orleans. Footage of the procedure shared by McIntyre showed fluid being drained out of the knee, and the Scottish Warrior asked fans to wish me luck ahead of his match with Uso. While details of his knee injury remain unclear, the fact that he required a procedure so close to his match raises concerns about his condition, especially heading into WrestleMania 41. As for the match itself, Jimmy pulled off what the commentators called an upset win as he countered a reverse Alabama slam into a victory roll for the pin. After the bell, McIntyre continued his assault on Uso, making the post-match attack the most memorable part of the showdown between the two. While the match had a few fun moments, it likely won't be remembered beyond the night though, as the aftermath could have implications for Drew as WrestleMania draws near. Now, the partnership of WWE and TNA has been a major talking point since May 2024 after Jordynne Grace made a surprise appearance in WWE NXT. Now, new details are emerging that confirm this alliance is built for the long haul thanks to JDC, aka Fandango, who recently crossed the line. Speaking at a For the Love of Wrestling convention, JDC shared that TNA has a working agreement and that this is a 3-year deal with NXT and WWE. This means the unprecedented crossover between WWE and TNA is locked in through at least 2028, with this update coming after WWE and TNA previously called it a multi-year deal. As part of this partnership, the Hardys have been confirmed for next week's NXT, and on his Extreme Life podcast, Matt shared how this all came together. He said, "This was a very last-minute thing. It's very cool because everyone knows that TNA and NXT have this partnership right now, TNA and WWE. I think it's going to continue to expand, but has already been very beneficial for both TNA and NXT." NXT Tag Team Champions Fraxium recently showed up in TNA, where they saw the Hardys defend their tag team titles against the Rascals. On his podcast, Matt shared that his match and Fraxium's appearance must have caught the attention of decision makers, but he made clear he doesn't get to decide who he faces. "I feel like after Fraxium showed up and they watched us defend the titles against the Rascals, the wheels started turning for the powers that be. I don't know all the details. I'm still talent, brother. I'm not booking, I'm talent." Hardy addressed that answering the challenge from No Quarter Catch Crew on the February 18th NXT was another last-minute choice, and he doesn't know what will happen next. With that said, Matt hopes that everything feels natural, real, and exciting in this partnership that'll last for years, and could see Matt and Jeff challenge for WWE Gold once more. Do you think the Hardy Boys should stick around in NXT, or should they have one last WWE run on the main roster? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. During Raw, there was a serious botch during the Finn Balor vs. Seth Rollins match, as Balor was slow to kick out of a pedigree by Seth when he was supposed to. This resulted in the ref hesitating and stopping the count, even with Finn's shoulders on the mat, and this issue was brought up in our review of this week's episode of The Red Brand. Now WWE has edited the botch out of the Raw broadcast, and for fans only watching the match from here on, it's as if this serious error never took place. For over a year, Carmella had been off of WWE TV as she and Corey Graves welcomed their son into the world in November 2023, but fans shouldn't expect to see her return. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp reports that Carmella's contract has expired and she's technically no longer with WWE, ending her lengthy tenure with the promotion. This news comes as Carmella continues to battle drop foot, a condition that has greatly impacted her mobility since giving birth to her son Dimitri. As if that weren't bad enough, Carmella has also been dealing with 2 herniated discs in her back, making a return to in-ring action even more of a challenge. Will she make a triumphant return, or is this a start of a new path outside the ring? Only time will tell. Over to WrestleMania 41 as boxing icon and WWE Hall of Famer Mike Tyson will appear at the WWE World event on April 20th during the weekend in Las Vegas. The WWE World will take place from April 17th to the 21st and will feature meet and greets with superstars, photo ops, autograph sessions, and more leading up to WrestleMania 41. Tyson's history with WWE runs deep, and 27 years after helping usher in the Attitude Era at WrestleMania 14, fans will get to see the baddest man on the planet this April in Vegas. Backstage at SmackDown, Naomi insisted that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were the ones who attacked Jade Cargill, who have previously denied being the attackers. Bianca Belair said that Jade has been trying to heal up but hasn't been texting her back, and could this mean Bianca doesn't know that Naomi attacked Jade? All signs have pointed to Naomi being the attacker, though there has been speculation that Bianca was the one to do the deed, though WWE continues to stretch this mystery out. In the ring, Liv Morgan was supposed to face Naomi, but the Glow was instead attacked by Morgan and Raquel, who also laid out Bianca Belair. With a title match set for next week's Raw, fans will have to see if the champions can retain, and if we learn more about the Jade Cargill mystery this coming Monday. SmackDown saw the birth of a new tag team, Mellow Don't Miz, as Carmelo Hayes and The Miz joined forces to face R-Truth and LA Knight. There was a hilarious spot mid-match as Truth believed he was a referee and counted a pinfall that wasn't even a pinfall, with Wade Barrett even alluding to Little Jimmy being a competitor. Truth also forgot which tag team he was working in and stood on the ring apron alongside The Miz, but in the end, it would be the US champion Shinsuke Nakamura who made the difference. Nakamura came out through the crowd to ambush Knight, allowing for Mello and Miz to get the win, their first as a confirmed duo. There was an interesting moment during a commercial break, which is seen by fans on Netflix, when Wade Barrett documented the rich history between The Miz and the Wyatt Six. Barrett noted that fans haven't seen the faction for a while, but said when they are back, they'll come after The Miz, teasing that WWE hasn't nixed this storyline entirely. As for when the faction returns, that's still unclear, but fans now know what the plans for the group are, at least if Barrett is to be believed. There was an impressive video package highlighting Zelina Vega's accomplishments in WWE, including her women's tag title victory and her Queen's Crown tournament win in 2021. Vega also addressed the criticisms many have of her, namely about her being too small to be in WWE, but plans to show her doubters wrong. Zelina Vega is now on SmackDown and outside the LWO, and with her new attitude, it remains to be seen if this turns into momentum, a push, and maybe a title for her. In WWE tag title action, DIY defended against Pretty Deadly, but once again the Street Profits proved to be the disruptors by attacking both teams before the Motor City Machine Guns came out. The Guns, who were attacked by the Profits at the Royal Rumble, were also attacked this week, as the segment ended with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins standing tall. And that was WWE SmackDown, and what did you make of the show and The Rock's appearance? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section. And we're ending today with WWE as Braun Breaker has been crushing it on the main roster, and now his cousin Brock Rechsteiner, the son of Scott Steiner, has signed a WWE NIL deal. This was confirmed by Brock's brother Brandon, and we'll have to see if Brock Rechsteiner can match or even supersede the success of his cousin, his Uncle Rick, and his father in WWE.